All right, so red-black mid-range, viewer submission, like most things on the channel. This deck, I believe, went 5-0 in a Moto League, but it's kind of like a collection of like reasonable cards. We've got the Karn treasure map that I've been pretty high on in general. Rekindling Phoenix, Bone Dragon's interesting, it generates value. Angrath was actually really good when we played him in a Jund build. So I'm interested to see. Oh, we need to enable the competitive mode, which actually just means best 2 out of 3. Why Bone Dragon over Doom Whisperer? I would assume because you want to generate value. So Doom Whisperer just eats a removal spell and dies, whereas Bone Dragon eats a removal spell and then gets back up and does it again. That's definitely something to consider, though, right? Like while we're playing, we'll want to consider situations where we draw Bone Dragon and it ends up being worse than Doom Whisperer, and that's potentially something we could try later. One of the nice things about playing on Arena here is that we're not locked into playing the same cards for the entire time. I wish I knew what they were playing. I'm gonna bottom that because I'd really like to hit a land to make these come into play untapped. Howdy, Fox. Yeah, treasure map's great. When it was early in the format, we talked about people would often ask you, like, what's my pick for underplayed card? And it's definitely my pick for underplayed card. And I think that now we've kind of gotten to a point where it's being played an appropriate amount. It's just like, should go into most mid-range and control decks, basically. I just accepted into medical school. I've told everyone I know, and now I want to shout it from the rooftops of Hoagland. What's going on, Snap Cryptic? Congrats. Thanks for the 4 months. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good Friday. TGIF. I don't think this deck is quite aggressive enough to leverage what Demanding Dragon is doing. I think Demanding Dragon is just one of the many terrible Punisher cards that exist in Magic the Gathering. Like, risk factor being close to playable is kind of the exception, not the rule. The last Ad Nauseam deck. The last Ad Nauseam deck does terrible against both humans and spirits. It's one of the reasons why Ad Nauseam isn't very good in Modern. Ad Nauseam, as far as combo decks go, is pretty mediocre. So, do I try and hit a land drop naturally next turn to jam the Phoenix? I probably would rather just, like, work towards the land with the Scries here. Also, flipping the treasure maps over has some appeal. Yeah, exactly, Jumos. It's good because of that. If they play Niv here, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. No Niv Mizzet, God bless. That can stay right there. I don't know if this card's playable. It's interesting. I assume it's just gonna die in a blaze here. Looking good for our hero chat. Hey, Drew, thanks for the 7 months. Welcome back. I appreciate that. All right, well, that can stay right there. Yeah, I like the inclusion of Impulse. Like most decks on my website, you can find my preferred amulet list on my website. We're just dead here. Maxim, another month of supporting my favorite streamer. Thanks for the 5 months. Welcome back. I guess I start by doing this. Yeah, you're fine from the depths. Yeah, you can always find my preferred iterations of deck lists up there for sure. So dead to dive down. Do not want that one on top. So I assume they're going to try and kill Dismissive Pyromancer here. I'm going to go ahead and do this to try and kill Niv. And if this Niv doesn't die this turn, I'm going to go ahead and concede. If they have like a dive down here or a 3 mana counter for the Lava Coil, we'll just be done. Am I getting hyped for STGCon? I hope so. The weather forecast as of right now is predicting blizzard conditions at the moment, so hopefully that doesn't happen. That would be bad, less than ideal. Trim all this cheap removal. Bring in some discard spells and such. Cohen, thank you for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month. That was really clean. I like that. That's always a sign of a well-built deck. Like, I was like, okay, this is a control matchup. I want to bring in these 7 cards. Then I had 7 cards in the main deck. I was just like, get these out of here. So, yeah, that's good. Feels good. Yeah, SCGCon is in Roanoke again. What's going on, Jimmy? Welcome to Live One. Hessian's never gonna draw a 3rd land, but I think I keep it. I don't know, Pikes. I don't know. There's a good chance this should just be... What's it called? The demon, right? The 6/6 flying trampler. Yeah, I'm thankfully not driving to the Invitational. I am flying. So that's nice. So, blizzards can ground flights, but a little bit less likely to happen than getting stuck in a car. Is Grixis mana better than Rakdos mana? It's not so much that Grixis mana is better, so much as that adding blue to red-black is pretty free because you have the Shocklands is what it comes down to. Oh, that's true too. There are a lot of Lava Coils in the format. That being said, like, this deck has both Rekindling Phoenix and Bone Dragon, so you can kind of make the argument that we're, like, forcing them to max out on Lava Coils rather than just, like, dodging it. So it's not like if I cut this Bone Dragon, I'm not gonna, like, they're still gonna have good targets for it, right? I can't find Apex of Power in the queue. Like, no, I said I opened an Apex of Power, not that anyway. I needed a Bone Dragon. Apex of Power is not really a playable card, Marty. Come on now.
Please stop.
In the standard environment, if you're running black, don't you always run Doom Whisper? No, I don't even think that's remotely true. I think there's a wide selection of threats that are reasonable and powerful in this format that you can be playing. Doom Whisper is among them, but I don't think it's automatically right that you need to include Doom Whisper in anything black. In fact, there's a lot of green-black lists that have been successful playing 0 copies of that card. See if we got Teferi coming down here. Could be Niv. Is the extension running? I believe so. It claims to be.
Hold that thought.
So I'm gonna go ahead and pass the turn here, because this way if they activate the Treasure Cove at end of turn, I'll get to Contempt in response while they only have 2 mana up. Whereas if we go to their upkeep, they're still gonna have 3 mana up, but it'll potentially be a little bit better for us. Alright, so in response to this, I'm gonna go ahead and Contempt here. Obviously they could have a 2 mana counterspell, but like this cuts them off of being able to cast 3 mana counterspells, and it gives them 1 less chance to draw on a 2 mana counterspell. It quit working on my Mac through Wine. Well, I'm running on Linux through Wine right now with 0 problems. The updater doesn't work through Wine. If you're trying to... Sorry about that. Let me turn my cell phone off. I'll have the ringer on. If you're trying to make the updater work through Wine, that doesn't work. But the actual application itself runs fine. Yep. I actually haven't opened the package yet, Danon. I take Jake to school on Friday afternoons. I drop him off at 12:45, so I like got home from school, grabbed the mail out of the box, and fired right up. How do we win this game? I assume the answer is we don't. But there's also a chance that, like, there's just a bunch of removal spells in their hand, and, like, my Eldest Reborns and Planeswalkers are going to get to grind through whatever they're doing. Like, Eldest Reborn is very good against Niv Mizzet, so, like, if they play Niv and we hit a 5th land, we're, like, still really in the game. It's not like my opponent has Teferi going. Like, if my opponent had Teferi going, it'd be pretty helpless. They're drawing 2 cards a turn, but, like, when we're both just sitting here drawing 1 card per turn, like, there's a very real possibility they run out of action. Less of a chance they run out of cards now, but yeah, it is what it is. You have to delete your wine directory, Jimmy, and then reinstall. So the arena updater doesn't work through wine, but actual arena works fine. So whenever there's an arena update, you have to delete your install directory for your wine directory, and then reinstall Arena fresh from the download off their website. I built a few artifact decks last night after buying the game and hitting up the market. Spent $200, including the purchase of the game. I have most of the good heroes, and even bought some packs to keep her draft with, so I think I'm in a good spot to be able to play the game for a while now. Yeah, it sounds about right. 200 bucks a set's probably reasonable. It's a little bit cheaper than what Arena is, right? All right, now we're dead. So that's the point where we're dead. Like, before they explosion and play the Teferi there, like, that's a very winnable game. And again, like, that's one of those things that comes with experience and, like, playing a lot of the format against decks like the opponent is being able to recognize, like, when you're actually dead versus being able to recognize when you're mostly dead versus when you still have a chance is, like, definitely a learned skill. So the big difference is when they have 2 cards a turn going, you're far less likely to catch back up, right? Like, to an insane degree. What's going on, Toggle Boggle? I'm doing well. Life is swell. You can beat up playing a little bit of red-black. This deck looked a little clunky on the surface. I'm gonna play one more match here, but I might add another treasure map to it. Treasure map really goes a long way towards smoothing out clunky draws and things like this, and like not playing 4 seems silly. Yeah, like I literally blew away my directory and reinstalled this afternoon, Jimmy, because there was an update yesterday. Thanks everyone for popping in already. It's almost 400 people in less than 20 minutes. Y'all are great. Hope everyone's having a great start to your weekend. Pyromancer's a good pickup. Good solid turn 2 play here. Howdy gifts. Are you doing alright? So far the deck feels pretty clunky. I don't really like to track the exact win-loss record, because the exact win-loss record doesn't really tell you anything meaningful about the deck list. There's plenty of times I've been like 4-0 with a deck and been like, this deck is clunky and garbage and we shouldn't play it anymore. And like there's plenty of times where I've been like 0-3 with the deck and just been like, man, we had some close games, we made some mistakes, but there's definitely something here. I'm gonna thank you. I built a Jeskai control deck and I wasn't wondering how I want it. I just watched a YouTube video and picked up some tips. Awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself, Phantom. Thanks for watching. Again, just like, I think the fact that this deck is playing like Dismissive Pyromancer before it has 4 copies of Treasure Map is probably a huge punt. Just like, Treasure Map is so good, it doesn't get exposed to things like this removal. Helps you filter through your situational cards, helps you generate card advantage. That's... thank you, Marty, for the 20 sub gifteroonies. You continue to be absurd. Hope your November went well. Hope you're having a good start to your weekend. Nice. Welcome to the Hoaglandia draft, folks. Pick up your shovels. We've got trenches to dig. Asim, please let the visitors of Hoaglandia know that I'm offering free timeouts for a limited time only. Get them while they are hot. What's going on? Thanks for the 13 months, Asim. I'd like to zap this one. Alright, so ideally we like to just draw lands the next 2 turns. Tajik implies that they're probably playing something mid-rangey or potentially aggressive as opposed to something more controlling. Snowy Field, thanks for the 4 months. Welcome back. I appreciate it. I'm not Sub Santa, I'm a shovel store. Marty got the salad emote. The salad emote is for Marty. That's why we got the salad emote there. Gifts forgiven. Thanks for the sub gift, Rooney. Welcome. Cheers. Welcome, new members. What is non-orientable and lives in the ocean? What's going on, Steve Plugger? Thanks for the 16 months. Welcome back. Yeah, I agree. I think so. Like so far, we're like 3 games for 3, just like stumbling and dying here. I think we're on 25 lands. Hey, we're on 25 lands, so I do think we're running a little bit bad, but I also think like not playing 4 treasure map is some hot nonsense. So after this match, I'm definitely gonna swap the fourth Pyromancer for a 4th treasure map. I'd like to put all these subs towards mono black, whatever that nonsense alley bait is. Sounds good. Mono black Niv will be up next. Thanks for support, Marty. Well, that's unfortunate. Can you articulate yourself as to why this deck is bad, Golgari, AGH? Is it because the mana sucks? Because we don't have a shock land? There are a lot of 5-drops in this deck, you're not wrong. I don't really know that I want to sideboard against our opponent. I feel like our main deck's pretty well set up for what they have going on. I just like need to hit my 4th land before turn 6. Does this deck get better with shock lands, right? I don't know. Yeah. And again, just like every time I see a Pyromancer in my hand, I'm just like, man, if you were treasure map, this hand would be a lot better. So we should definitely move that split in the other direction. Just like favor treasure map and play three Pyromancer at the start. It's wild, chat. We're gonna hit 4 land drops this game. Not quite sure what to do with myself. Nice, Ribbon. Yeah, Arena's great. Arena is the best digital Magic experience you can get. It's the digital Magic game I've wanted for a very long time, and I'm excited to have it. So we have early relevant things, AGH. I would make the argument that Lava Coil is maybe the best 2-mana removal spell in this format. It's very, very good. So you're right that we don't have a lot of pressure early, but to say that we don't have plays early is incorrect, I think. Yeah, a lot of very good removal. Somehow I have 502 bits. I'm not sure why, so here you go. Please put these towards the non-black div thing. Sounds good. Yeah, Marty, so, Cinder, if there's another deck in the queue you'd like to bump up, I'd be happy to bump that instead. So Marty actually sent enough in that the mono black deck's gonna get cut into the next deck today. So if there's something else you'd like to see a little bit sooner, you'd be welcome to bump something else too, because Marty already kicked it to the very next deck, which is as quick as you can get. I don't really have anything in my hand I want to discard, which again is just like, why isn't this treasure map? I just bought more treasure maps. So like, one of the ways the easiest way to look at your deck and know if your deck is likely constructed playable, especially in a fair mid-range format, is you want to look at the cards in your deck and ask yourself the question, what percentage of the cards in this deck are playable? Yep, yeah, the slow is over for standard. I posted it in Discord. I should start mentioning that on streams too. So if you are a viewer, especially subs who are interested in adding decks to the queue, the standard queue is open again for normal $10 donations. Perfect. Sounds good, Cinder. Yeah, so I'm actually just gonna use my mana this turn, and I'm gonna go ahead and block this here and then shoot their 2/2. Because like my mana is like spoken for like the next 3 or 4 turns, so I might as well just like get this in while they're getting this good. Which are arguably the best threat standard, sure, but most 2-mana removal spells don't do that. And I think like you're pigeonholing, like sure, you're right that like it's bad against exactly Jeskai, but you know what card is absurd against Jeskai? This card is absurd against Jeskai. This card's very, very good in that matchup. Ghost Sandwich, thank you for the 2-month resub. Oh, Twitch usernames. Welcome back, thanks for the Prime. The queue's actually been staying open for longer than I expected. I play through the decks on Magic Arena at a pretty quick pace. Like occasionally we hit like Jeskai control where it takes an hour and a half to play 3 matches, but a lot of the times I can play 4 or 5 matches and have a good feel for a deck to get feedback on in like less than an hour. So we get like hour 15 for a lot of these standard decks, which lets me move through the queue in standard a lot quicker. Do I just want to Vraska's Contempt this turn? I feel like I just want to Vraska's Contempt this turn. I guess I could play Karn and plus him. The problem with playing Karn and plussing him is if my opponent has a removal spell, they then get to like kill my Phoenix, kill my Karn. So I think I'm just gonna Contempt again here. Also, do you like how we kept a 4-land hand on the play and like missed our land drop on 5? Just like solidly good beats. Articulate yourself, Big Tuna. Bone Dragon seems bad because, and then fill in the blank for me. Contribute to the discussion. Don't just take the idea that's on your screen and tear it down. Every time I see an hour video on YouTube, I think the deck was not worth it or bad. That's definitely not true. Especially not with standard. With modern, that's probably true. With modern, it's probably true, but with standard, that really just doesn't hold merit anymore. How many cards are in our yard? 2 at the moment. That's the reason I think a lot of people are saying it's bad. Bone Dragon seems bad because I haven't played it before, and new things have to be bad. Yeah, like, as far as like this current set of games go, we're now like 4 games for 4 where I just like haven't made land drops. Like I've yet to play 5 lands in 5 turns in 4 games, and like this is a deck that very obviously wants to curve out to 5, right? Teacup, thanks for the 4 months, welcome back. I appreciate it. Thanks for the 3rd of the year. Hey Digitech, thanks for the tip, I appreciate it. For the Blue Red Drake deck, thanks for the support. As always, a friendly reminder, because this always happens when I say I'm reopening the queue. If you want to submit a deck to be played on stream, you need to use this deck submission form on my website. And please do not send me your money until after I've approved your deck list, unless you're okay with having sent me money and me going, I really don't want to play that. Because I don't actually accept everything. I accept a lot of things, but I don't. Sometimes people send in an idea and it's just like, that's probably just going to end up with me dying for an hour. So Doom Whisperer is a card that trades your health total to increase card quality, whereas Bone Dragon is a card that's actual card advantage should you be able to put cards in your graveyard. Yeah, I agree. I think the idea behind this deck is that all of the threats are incredibly difficult to answer between Rekindling Phoenix and the Bone Dragon and the Planeswalkers. You have a lot of sticky methods of like keeping threats in play, which I think is reasonable. So here's the thing. This is why, again, Moondress, thanks for 11 months, Belkak. This is why being specific about why people think it's bad is good. So people are saying, well, Bone Dragon's bad because there's too many Lava Coils. Well, do I not play Rekindling Phoenix? Is Rekindling Phoenix unplayable because of Lava Coil? It's not, right? Like, obviously, Rekindling Phoenix is a very reasonable and playable card. So if Lava Coil is good against my deck anyways, playing another card that Lava Coil is going to be good against is fine, because now we're overloading on the number of Lava Coils people need to have against us. Someone else mentioned Vraska's Contempt. Our deck, in addition to creatures that need to be exiled, is also full of Planeswalkers. So again, I'm not saying this deck is great. I'm not saying it's perfect. It might be bad even, but I'm saying I don't know, and just looking at it and writing it off as it has to be those things without thinking critically about it is an easy way to like fall into lazy deck building habits and like missing things that are important and could be good. Well, Karn's dead, right? Yeah, the discussion, like when I ask people always throw fits when I ask them to. There's a lot of people that get really upset when I ask people to explain themselves. It's just like, well, the asking you to explain yourself is for like your benefit, right? So I can like help you understand why you think something. And, like occasionally I learn something too, but for the most part it's like, well, I want to help figure out why the viewer's coming from where they're coming from. I wasn't an active viewer when you switched over to streaming Arena. We didn't play Standard. Would you mind explaining why you shifted it? Because Standard's great. Standard rotates. Standard changes. All formats of Magic change and rotate, honestly. So, like, the reason why we're playing Standard on Arena now and I wasn't previously is previously Standard wasn't fun. I didn't find it enjoyable. Standard changed in a big way, and now I find it fun. Now I find it enjoyable. I play Magic for fun, so when a format that I'm playing stops being fun, I stop playing. Does Legacy really change, though? I mean, kinda. That's fair. Legacy's often more of the same. For people wondering why I didn't block Tajik last turn, he's got text on him so he can gain first strike. Takes bucket off head. May I be a real knight now. Risky bug. I knight thee. Defender of the realm. Go forth and protect us from Twitch chat. So now if they attack with this, I'm going to block, obviously, because this thing just comes back next turn. And this is something we saw. We played blue-red mid-range the other day with a full 4 Rekindling Phoenix, and this card was consistently excellent in that deck. What do we use for Phyrexian Scriptures? We played Phyrexian Scriptures in green-black and Sultai, and it's, like, reasonable. So Phyrexian Scriptures is, like, a sweeper that's good against mid-range decks, whereas like Ritual of Soot is better against the aggressive decks. Only 1 month until a year. Look, no numbers. Thanks for the 11-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, like this is another game where we stumbled, right? We're just like, we stumbled, they flooded, we're ahead now. Like, we're at 5, so like, unless there's like a Banefire in their deck, we should be in a pretty good position to win this game, I think.
I'll make use of that later.
I have volume on right now, but is there any reason why Twitch follow page didn't show you as live all day? Well, I've only been live for 30 minutes. So remember, on Fridays, I'm live during the day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then I take Thursdays off, and Friday I'm on in the afternoons. So, gives people in different time zones a chance to catch up. Gives me some daytime time to get to the gym, which is nice. So I start about 1. I'm actually going to hold this back here because my health total isn't quite high enough to risk taking a haste hit. As always, you can find my schedule, which not only has the days and times when I'm live, but also which games I play on which days on my website. My schedule is going to be a little bit wacky for the next 2 weeks. So if you're used to my normal schedule, it's going to be a little bit different because I'm taking 5 days off to go to the SCNG Invitational to play Magic there. So I'm going to be adding, well, that one's great. I'm going to be adding a bunch of hours to make up for missing a bunch of time. I am not doing costumes, so I ended up waiting too long. By the time I realized that pirates would make for a good costume choice, I didn't have time to get anything shipped. Am I playing the Legacy deck in the queue soon? Monday morning. Monday morning, the Legacy deck's gonna be up first thing. Artifact plan in the schedule is ad hoc. The artifact's just gonna be ad hoc. The artifact content's just not very popular, Gankophobia, so I can't justify scheduling it really. And my next couple of weeks are crazy because of the invitational having to push things around. So all my scheduled time needs to be Magic. I'm gonna do really sweet Legacy decks on occasion as one-offs for larger donations. So I had someone ask if I would play the Blazing Shoal Infect deck that we played a couple of times for Blazing Shoal, like we played a couple of times for a $50 donation. I was okay with that because that deck's pretty reasonable. Yeah, the production quality on the Artifact tournament that's been going on this weekend is like really, really good. Like this Artifact 10K tournament has better production quality than like most Magic Pro Tours. Like, you know, set a bar that exists. Yeah, I agree, Gabriel Payne. Just a little bit's probably fine, especially if it's with an exceptionally interesting deck. I would like your Lyra, please. But I can be a little bit choosy on it, and then if it's a little bit larger donation, it makes up for the fact that like Legacy content isn't super popular, and just like it works out for everybody. So I think if this is a start making Karn Strux moment. Like, this is gonna flip next turn. I can just start giving him the beatdown here. I don't need this swamp. I need this other swamp, right? Sure. How do you tell what's exiled with Karn? If you click on your exile zone, there's silver counters on them. Five color Lich. I don't have 5-color Lich in the queue. Do you mean the chromatic black deck? These pyromancers are just really bad. I might try and look into playing something other than the pyromancer. I might just cut all of them.
I know.
They've been really terrible so far. You make a Karn struct, and you make a Karn struct. Everybody makes Karn structs. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, you're right. I could have attacked, mentored it to a 3, and then flipped the map. It's a cute thing to point out. Any changes to the blue-green swarm deck since the YouTube upload? Yeah, I'm 3-0 in another gauntlet with some changes to it. I posted it. If you're not in the subs Discord, I've been talking about all the artifact stuff I've been doing in the subs Discord.
Do not have to fight alone.
Well, this deck has to play Evolving Wilds because we don't have Blood Crypt in standard right now, so it just needs to help fix its mana. No, they're just wasting time. I guess they could like bring back Dire Fleet and like Vraska's Contempt my thing, but like they're just like super dead to these current structs. Pop into the subs Discord here. You might have to scroll back for my current list. I could post it. I'm actually leaving tonight. I could post it Sunday. So Matt's actually going to be dropping in for part of the stream later today because he and I are driving up to Chicago to play this weekend. Oh, I'm playing. He's commentating. So if you're playing the Modern Tournament in Chicago this weekend, feel free to come say hello. Yeah, this deck's pretty color intensive. Will he be data scouting as well? He's actually commentating the event. So I'll be playing Elves though, so I should be able to do a lot of my own scouting because Elves plays like 15-minute matches. I want to get some reps in playing some paper Elves before the Invitational next weekend. Yeah, Matt does all the commentating for Nerd Rage. Nerd Rage, Matt, not Star City. So Star City doesn't go to Chicago. Yeah, details to the Discord are here. It's handled automatically with integrations. Do I need to show them this to kill them this turn? I think so, unfortunately. I'd prefer not to show them Angrath, but if it means dealing lethal this turn is probably... now I don't have to. Okay. NRG series, twitch.tv/NRG series, I believe.
Cease this.
Yeah. This is their Twitch channel. Oh, they sacked that. That's cute. All right, fine. Fine, I'll show you the thing.
Here be monsters. Your crew for my freedom. A fair price.
Look at all of our friends, chat. Look at all of our friends. Careful if you do drive up. We're supposed to get thunderstorms tomorrow. Matt and I are actually driving up tonight to avoid the bulk of the bad weather. Yeah, Angrath's animations are just A+. So they're a little bit smaller than I thought at first. I guess Knight of Malice is probably pretty good here. It blocks Tajik well. Ritual of Soot seems okay. Pyromancer seems really medium. Cast Down seems pretty mediocre. They have a lot of legends. Moment of Craving seems fine. I'm gonna trim an Eldest Reborn on the draw. It's like a powerful card, but it's just kind of slow. They can be kind of aggressive. Beardless Jeff is best Jeff. I don't know about that. Sorry, I'm already a little scruffy. I'm confident I should be almost properly bearded again by the time the Invitational hits. Nah, Duress is for matchups that primarily have counter spells. That sounds fine. Not amazing, but fine. Removal spell into Sarkhan to loot these lands into some action sounds good. We'll actually hit 5 lands in 5 turns potentially for the first time. So watching the Sultai Infect VODs, and you mentioned maybe taking December. Why did you decide against it? Because it doesn't have a good burn matchup. And burn's usually a pretty, like, you don't want to metagame Modern too specifically, but in my experience, the dual format tournaments tend to have a lot of burn in them because people who are primarily standard players, that's the type of deck they gravitate towards playing in Modern. Just very straightforward and powerful. The Modern tournament is at Nerd Rage Gaming. Gonna submit my new pet deck, Green White Angels. Thank you for the biddies, Ozar. I appreciate that. We'll get that added to the queue later tonight. No turn 2 play. Okay, deal. Yeah, I think it's very reasonable in general. It ticks pretty much all the boxes you want to tick in Modern, in my opinion. Won't the Invitational be full of more Modern focused players? Still open to Modern? I don't know. Who knows? If I really liked Infect and I didn't like anything else, I would play Infect, but I think Eld's is similarly good while also being good against decks like Burn. So again, I'm not like making a huge decision based on one specific matchup, but I do think that like when I have 2 good choices, making the one that's better against decks that I expect to be reasonable and well represented is fine. Oh, you know what? People have been talking about this Bone Dragon. You can Bone Dragon turn 4 off of Sarkhan as well. That's something that like I was just looking at here. I was like, oh, I can Bone Dragon off Sarkhan. It's a real thing. Does that run something like Tormenting Voice? Maybe. I don't know that we use the graveyard enough for that. Toxic Flames just got paid, so I figured I'd sub again. Want to hit me up with that timeout? Of course. Thanks for the 4 months. Welcome back. Thanks for the 3rd of a year. Tony the Brony. Do you think Pirates Pillage might be okay? 4 is a lot. Now, I think 4 is too expensive for this deck. Like, this deck, the issue that this deck has is having too many things that cost 4, I think, as opposed to not enough. Sure, you're right. Phoenix is better on this board, but I'm just saying in general, I can play Bone Dragon off of Sarkhan. I'm not saying on this board that's what I'm doing on my 4th turn if I had the option available, but I'm just citing that as a potential reason to be registering Bone Dragon. Woof. Yeah, Shivan was a great pickup for sure. Shivan or Ritual of Soot were the cards that we were looking to draw there. Any removal spell, really. Removal spell or sweeper were the 2. We're only going down to 16 here, which is nice. Like, we lost our Sarkhan, but it helped preserve our health total, which is nice. Ritual of Soot doesn't deal damage, it says destroy. So Ritual of Soot, Tajik stops non-combat damage. So that would stop something like Deafening Clarion, but it does not stop Ritual of Soot. Ritual just says, please kill all these things. Maybe I'm supposed to lead on Bone Dragon here, because if they have Lava Coil, I'd rather Bone Dragon get exiled than Rekindling Phoenix. They shocked that in. Well, that's terrifying. Do they have a Lava Coil plus a 4-drop? Maybe a Conclave Tribunal plus a 3-drop? Or 4-drop plus a Tribunal? Yeah, I think I sequenced wrong there. I should have let on the Bone Dragon. Really need to draw Ritual of Soot next turn. Woof, even that might not be enough. It was definitely a sequencing mistake on my part to lead on the Phoenix, but I think because we have so many lands here, we're going to be in trouble regardless. Yep. Alright, let's make a couple of small changes here. I am blind. Where did it go? There it is. All right. Would like another treasure map. The Bant Walls deck is great. It's one of the many sweet decks you could find on my website. I feel like these Pyromancers are just really terrible, and I don't really want them in my deck. I'm gonna add the 4th Lava Coil. I'm gonna add a 3rd Sarkhan. Let's go up a land. I wonder if it's crazy to just go up a land. I'm gonna like cut a tap land and then just add a basic of each type. The problem is all the utility lands in this color, and these colors suck. I could add like Field of Ruin, but like Memorial to Folly isn't a card in this deck. Yeah, I could add like Field of Ruin. And like the Memorial to War is pretty bad too. Should add the stone. I think this is worse than just playing Field of Ruin. Memorial to Folly is not very good because both of our creatures already come back to the battlefield. So like they're not going to be in the graveyard unless I like there's some very weird specific circumstances. The Memorial to Folly is a great land. It's just not great in this deck. All right, so up to 4 treasure maps we go. I mean, treasure map and more lands is how you help smooth out the top end. Another Sarkhan helps smooth a little bit too. All right, chat. We added a 26th land. Who's ready to miss the 3rd land drop and die? This guy right here. Are you ready, kids? Drowned Catacomb Seeker's Squire. Okay. Holy crap. Holy crap.
No sword can
We did it! We did it! Maybe I'm supposed to hold the Bone Dragon there because I could cast Bone Dragon next turn. That's exactly what this deck is. This is a mid-range good stuff deck. There's no synergy to be had here. We're just playing cards that are individually powerful with some other cards that generate some card advantage. Good removal, good creatures. I mean, the Bone Dragon comes back later is the reason to discard him. Yeah, the modern queue is still slowed. It takes me a lot longer to get through modern decks. My average playtime for modern decks is a little over 90 minutes. My average playtime for standard decks is a little over 60. Deal. That's not even true. We finished that league. That league also took 90 minutes.
Pain won't stop me.
How greedy is it to discard this Field of Ruin? I just want to put more cards in my bin for the Bone Dragon. How do I determine how long I play standard decks for? I play standard decks for a minimum of 2 matches and a maximum of about 90 minutes, but usually I stop playing them about an hour, because usually about an hour is enough time to get a feel for them. Because we play matches so quickly on Magic Arena that, like, even this deck, right? Like, we've been playing this deck for 56 minutes. It's like our third or fourth match with it, which is a good enough, like, we've made changes to the deck and iterated on it. Once we've been able to iterate, or if I've played it and gone, I'm really not sure there's anything we could do here. Like, give realistic feedback is basically my expectation, with rough time bounds strapped in as well. Yeah, I think between Sarkhan going and the Karn as well, we should be okay here. Sarkhan can ramp us to Bone Dragon, theoretically, but yeah, he's mostly here just to rummage. I'm not gonna bin anything at this point, because I think I want to keep all the cards in my hand.
What madness!
Yeah, that makes sense. They have a bunch of good Enter the Battlefield effects.
Worse than the likes of you. Are you certain of your decision?
Did I advertise other streamers' decks while using them? I mean, maybe if I know whose deck it is. Like, tracking ownership of decks in Magic is one of the things that I think is just so idiotic. Especially in Standard, where the card pool is really limited. This idea that someone can own a deck idea is nonsense. Like, there's a pretty finite card pool, and trying to, like, say, like, I'm the only person that could possibly have this idea and this is mine, I own it, is just silly. Like, especially if 2 dudes can discover calculus simultaneously, 2 dudes can definitely discover the same idea for a Magic deck simultaneously. What deck do I own? I don't own decks. All right, well, mana is definitely our bottleneck here. They about to quasi-duplicate this Dream Eater and just destroy us. Feels like it. Nope, just second one, yep. I discovered calculus, yep. We can't claim ownership, but we can still blame Elsic for for failing to call Lantern barber shops. Yep.
I fear no
pain. The blue-green artifact deck is pretty funny.
Well chosen.
Oh, these tapped lands, chat. Why? Why, tapped lands? Why? All right, we're done here. My favorite thing about Twitch chat, and by favorite I mean most annoying, is when someone says something and then I give this really, what I feel is a reasonable explanation for why I think that thing is silly, and then the person doubles down on doing that thing. Playing all these user-submitted decks proves Jeff is MTG's greatest American hero, believe it or not. What's going on? Thanks for the 9 months. We basically got Splitter Twin. Splitter Twin's not banned in standard, duh, chat. Come on now. Is Craving good enough here? I guess they have a bunch of Thief of Sanities in their deck, right? Eldest Reborn seems pretty terrible here. They have a lot of, like, poopy creatures. Ritual of Soot might be okay for that reason. No, I just timed them out. I think I timed them out. I timed them out. I don't ban people for being annoying. I ban people for being... I time people out for being annoying. Take a 10-minute break. Arguel's Bloodfast for some draw. Nah, I shouldn't have been greedy and discarded lands last game. It opened me up to getting tempoed out, and then that's what happened. In fact, Arguel's Bloodfast is bad in this matchup, it would feel, for the exact same reason we died last game. Last game we died because we couldn't be mana efficient enough. So I want cards that help me be more mana efficient, not less. I ban people, generally speaking, people get banned for 2 reasons on this channel in 2018. They get banned for coming in here and saying things that are particularly obnoxious or offensive. Things like, yeah, just using language that isn't kind or welcoming to people mostly. And then the second reason is when someone comes in here and breaks the rules and gets timed out, and then they come back and have a temper tantrum because they got timed out for breaking the rules. Those are the 2 reasons. If you want to be critical of others because they're different than you, you get banned in my channel. And if you want to complain about reasonable rules, you get banned in my channel. Those are the 2 reasons we permanent ban these days. Once upon a time, I permanently banned people far too aggressively, but we've moved past that. Dig, thanks for the 9 months. Welcome back. Appreciate that. To be completely honest, this deck's been really clunky and awkward. I feel like not only is it clunky because of the lands that it's forced to play, because this color combination doesn't have access to shock lands, but it's also just clunky because it's playing a lot of really expensive cards. It doesn't have a fantastic curve in it. Do you ever unban those from the early days? Yeah, when I banned people really aggressively, I would unban everybody that's been banned on my channel once per year. but since we don't ban aggressively anymore, I no longer do that. Will the tournament this weekend be streamed? Yeah, you'll be able to watch the tournament that I'm playing in this weekend on the Nerd Rage Twitch channel here. Glad to pop back in live again. I may have gone hard working on the Mad World parody, and now I can't stop singing about Stoneforge Mystic. God bless. Most of the mythic animations in this application are fantastic. Yeah, I'm going up. So, Nerd Rage Gaming in Chicago, they have a tournament series that they do, and my buddy Matt Bamonte commentates for them for their paper tournaments. And he asked me if I wanted to drive up this weekend with him, and I was like, yeah, that sounds like fun. So I'm gonna go up there. Normally I don't have physical Magic cards, but like the folks that sent me decks to play at the Invitational sent them early, thankfully. So I've got my Elf deck that I'm playing next weekend that I'm gonna play in their tournament. Howdy Zero, welcome to a live one. I watched someone play Hex last night, and I agree, Marty. I think what we have for Arena now is much better than what Hex was. Is Matt gonna ensure you're on camera? Maybe. I bet if you bothered him really nicely, he would put me on camera. It's so good! Why is it so good? Could we just, like, when people come in and ask why Bone Dragon from now on, could we just say because the animation is gasoline? Because that's the truth, right? The animation is gasoline. Anyone know a good place to find artifact decklist? So there is an artifact constructed tournament going on this weekend. That's a 10K that a bunch of people had promo invites to. So you could probably find decklist from that once it's done. So we're just like super dead here, right? They're like gonna bounce this. They're gonna untap and quasi duplicate this Dream Eater and bounce the Bone Dragon, and then just like tempo us back into oblivion. Detri, thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Should keep me employed here. Rude. This is almost better for us in a way, because it means that they don't have another one. I'm gonna go ahead and Moment of Craving here, because next turn this is gonna make me discard the card from my hand, so there's a good chance I'll just have to discard that. Oh, now I have to discard my Phoenix or my Angrath. Yeah, that was all right. That was loose. All right, loose has been declared. Has there been discussion about whether there's much of a future? Well, Legacy has never had a future. Legacy is doomed to die by the nature of the reserve list. Legacy will eventually become like Vintage, where you play it once a year at Eternal Weekend, or you play it online. As far as Modern goes, Modern's not crippled by the reserve list, and I don't expect Modern. I expect Modern to scale back a little bit, most likely, but I don't expect it to go anywhere in the long term. There's always going to be... Modern creates a very unique play pattern. It's not desirable by everyone, but there are plenty of people that enjoy it. What's going on, James? How's it going? Catch you live after the months. I'm doing swell. It's a good Friday. Hanging out, playing a couple of standard decks. I'm driving up to Chicago with Maddie to play a Magic tournament this weekend. I'm going to play some Elves and Modern. The Invitational is next weekend. I'm playing paper Magic tournaments 2 weekends in a row. It's weird. I almost don't know who I am. I don't think that's strictly true, Huller. I think the new non-rotating format that Magic has is going to be incredibly popular. This comes back into play tapped. God, we're so dead. Well, how popular was Modern when it came out? Not hugely. It took a hot second for it to catch on. That being said, the new non-rotating format will become popular faster than Modern did, because the new non-rotating format will be supported on Magic Arena, whereas Modern wasn't anything special at the time. I really didn't like this deck. This deck felt like it was clunky, not only because of the mana base having a bunch of tapped lands in it that it has to have because we don't have Blood Crypt, but it also just clunky because, like, look at this curve or lack thereof. Like, there's 12 cards that cost, and like we trimmed some of the 2-drops, but like even before the changes we made to this deck, like the original submission, it did not have that many things that were efficient, and it had a bunch of top end tier that just kind of rattled around. Like, deck's kind of just like a bull through the china shop. You hear it coming from a mile away.